Welcome back to episode 3, everyone. So far we have the LLC put together. We came up with a name. We developed an LLC. We got our COE. We're in accordance with the state now. So if you haven't seen that video, go back and watch the LLC video on how to set up the LLC. It's pretty straightforward. Once you get into the website, it's just gonna ask you a few basic questions of your NAICS code, which is basically what industry you're gonna be focusing in on, and that way there you can get the tax codes right. You can figure out, are you gonna have to charge sales tax? How much of the sales tax? It's gonna be different based upon service industries. Once you get that all set up, you get your COE, you're all set. Now you can't go to a bank yet and get a debit card or a credit card under the LLC name. First, you're gonna have to get the EIN number. So once you go down and sit down in a bank, they're gonna want your LLC number or your filing number. They're also gonna want your EIN number. So the EIN is gonna work in accordance with the IRS. So it's the federal state. So it's how you pay your federal taxes. It's relatively simple. It's a pretty outdated website, so it's kind of difficult to navigate, but it's very, very straightforward and quick. So now, based on how you filed for your LLC, so if you filed as a single member LLC or limited liability company, or if you filed as a multi-member or as an S corp, whichever one you chose to do, most are gonna be the same. For us, I filed as a single member LLC. Technically, it's a multi-member LLC, but that all gets changed once you do your first tax filing at the end of the year. So your annual tax filing is going to distinguish to the feds what kind of business that you have. Almost more often than not, you're going to be set up as a sole proprietorship, just because there's no history of taxes on your business. So pretty simple here. We got Google pulled up. We're going to go EIN number. That's all you really got to type in. So as you can see here, the Department of Justice comes up. So now you can look through. You can find different EIN numbers for different companies. Right underneath it is the irs.gov employer identification number for the IRS. And it gives you a brief synopsis on what's going on. So do you need an EIN, lost or misplaced EIN, how long will it take to get an EIN? It like it says right here, it's immediately upon you applying. And like I said, you're going to need that EIN if you want to go get any sort of insurance for the company or bank information for the company and so forth. So let's click on here. It brings you right about here. So now you have the SS4 forms, instructions, tax exempt numbers. So if you're filing as a not or a exempt company or not for profit company, for example, would be a church, which would be a 503B. You will not be getting taxed based on your profits because it's a non-profit, right? But so we are starting a landscaping business, which is a for-profit business. So you're going to come here and you're going to do an EIN. And it's going to give you a brief overview, like how it works, complete the application in one session. It expires after 15 minutes of inactivity, so you want to get it done in one sitting. And then definitely print your EIN because you're going to need to take that into whatever business you go into. So you're going to have a few things where your business is based out of. So like I did for my LLC, it's based out of Connecticut. So that is a United States state. And then you can also do a territory. But make sure it's within the United States if you're filing an EIN number within the United States. Obviously, if you're international, you're going to have to follow a different set and maybe find someone else that covers that. So you're going to come here, what you need. So you have your business type, your social security or taxpayer ID. For starting off, it's probably going to be your social security, and then your designee. Apply for an EIN. It's going to bring you here. Like I said, it's a pretty outdated website. It's going to give you a quick overview of what's going on, what kind of restrictions there are, and about the EIN. So you can begin your application. And like I said before, you have your sole proprietor, partnership, corporation, LLC, estate, trust. So the one of the two that you would probably have to choose here is either sole proprietor or LLC. You can choose partnerships. It's going to make it kind of complicated when you try to move over to a multi-member LLC because now a partnership is classified different as an LLC. So if you do an LLC, after that you can also change it to a multi-member LLC after your tax filing. So for example, let's click on sole proprietor. So my business is claimed as a sole proprietor. I am the managing manager, and then also the person I went into business with is the manager. So now we can click on sole proprietor again. It recognizes that we've chosen that. So it explains that sole proprietorship is a business owned by one individual. So that would be you or me. And it's also self-employed. So now, for example, this is going to be called a pass-through entity. So when you go to your LLC and you do your filings for the LLC, in accordance with your state, it's going to be a pass-through entity. So you can come here. So for example, here you start a new business, or maybe you started the business and you haven't filed for your LLC or EIN, and now you want to hire employees, or banking purposes, like I said before. You go into a bank, you're going to need an EIN if you want to start with debit or credit. And then you can also change your organization type here. So if you file as a sole proprietor and it's an S corp and you want to move into LLC, you can change the organization here. So we're going to say we start a new business. So this is probably where it's going to have to stop, because now I needed to put my first name, my last name, middle initial, and I am the sole proprietor. So this also is going to include me putting in my social security. So the next step would be addresses, details, and then your EIN confirmation. So it's really quick, very straightforward. Once you have that done, you're going to be all set. Now you're going to have your LLC, EIN, and EIN if you've been following along. And then you can go down to your local bank and you can set up a bank account, and you can also set up a debit or credit account for your business. That way, there it's a lot easier to track expenses. And in later videos, we're going to be describing how you can use QuickBooks, how you can track your expenses, and how you can take those expenses and deduct them from your overall taxable income. So making sure this is all set is imperative, and it's going to be very important to start off.